So thank you for being here. We have about a half hour, and I know that many of you would like to ask Waheeda questions, so I'll just get us started on a conversation, and we will divide the time equally. We'll do 15 minutes, I'll do 15 minutes of questions, and then you can have the last 15 minutes. So Waheeda ji, you've worked with the best directors in Indian cinema. Satyajit Ray, Rishikesh Mukherjee, Sunil Dutt, Bimal Roy, Guru Dutt, of course. Never worked with Bimal Roy.
Bimal Roy or Rishikesh.
I thought Khamoshi was Rishikesh.
No, Ashit Sen.
Ashit Sen. And you have also played some of the most memorable women's roles. Most obviously, Guide, Rosie and Guide. But I wanted to ask you, all these men who very often had complicated personal lives of their own, for you, which one of them was the most sensitive to the portrayal of women?
Sorry,
Which director do you think was most sensitive to the idea of how to put a woman on screen?
First of all, it was Guru Dutt for Pyasa, and then Ashit Sen for Khamoshi, and of course Mr. Ray, Satyajit Ray, and even Vijay Anand, Goldie, yeah. They were very clear in their mind what, when they explained what the character is needed to be.
So your national award is for Reshma Orsheda.
Yeah.
A very, very unusual film, probably a film well ahead of its time. In many ways, people, when they think of you, they think Aaj Fir Jeene Ki Tamanna Hai, just that joyous, joyous song from Guide. And Rosie, the character, the very, very complex character of Rosie, and I know she's one of your favorite characters, so do you want to talk about her?
Well, when I was offered to do Guide, I was most thrilled because I read the novel, I liked it immensely. And luckily, maybe many people, none of them know about it. When I was doing Satyajit Ray's Abhijan, he said, Waheeda, when you go back to Bombay, please buy this Guide by R.K. Narayan. I'm planning to make it. I said, wow, very good. Okay, I came back, I read the book and I forgot about it. So Mr. Ray also must got busy with some other movie. Then after a year and a half or two, Devanan contacted me and said, Waheeda, read this novel called Guide. I said, I have already read. How come? I said, just like that. I didn't tell him, okay, Mr. Ray was planning to do it. I said, no, I did tell him. So he said, no, I'm sorry, I have bought the rights. So nobody else can make it in India but me. I said, oh, that's right. Okay, that means I was destined to play Rosie, whether it was with Mr. Ray or Devanand. And in those days, that was a movie where the woman was a very bold, according to those times, not very bold today, and very confident about herself, and she knew what she wanted in her life. She was clear in her mind. Usually with the roles we used to play was mishy-mashy, to do, not to do, you love a boy, you don't love a boy, so on and so forth. You see, but this was very clear. She fights with her husband, Marco, then when she leaves, and in those days it was a very big thing for a wife to slap the husband and walk out. It was a, oh no. But it happened, and people liked that scene particularly very much. Wow, that's good. A wife slapping her husband and hard and walking out on him. Then she wanted to pursue her career as a dancer, where Raju helps her. And that's why I like that role very much.
But as we were talking earlier, you've done a lot of these outsider roles. You're not the good wife, not the Sati Savitri. Very often the courtesan, the Nautanki dancer, and Tisri Kasan. Was that risky for you in those days?
Well, it was risky, but I feel in my life, even till today at my age, one should take risks. That's an excitement, that is a beauty, that shows your strength, that you're ready to take risks and not to be scared of failure. So what? I take risk. If I fail, so what? Nobody's harmed. It will be harming myself, nobody else. So I always wanted to do something different and take very different characters to play different roles, and I was ready to take risk.
Um, you know, lots of people now say, film theorists and film critics, that the idea or the role of the vamp has disappeared because now your heroine is also the vamp. I mean, she's singing a Chikni Chameli song and, Munni Badnaam Hui and all of that. But so many of the roles that you did, you were both those things, and you're a dancer. And, how was that for you? I mean, did you enjoy dancing in these roles? Was it an integral part of your understanding of the character, or was it just a side thing? Yes, I'm asking you.
No, being a South Indian from Tamil Nadu, practically everybody have learned dancing, and till Guide came along, nobody thought and believed me I could dance, because they say you don't look like a dancer. I said, if one is a dancer, what do you mean I don't look like a dancer? Because the way you walk, talk, making faces. I said, no, sorry, it doesn't happen like that in real life. So that was the only movie actually where I could show my talent of dancing. And it was perfect, it was justified, because in other movies, whenever there used to be a duet song or single song, the director wanted you to dance. So I used to argue with him, why is she dancing? She's a village girl. But that is needed for the public. They like to see the heroine dancing. I said, okay, little bit. But I really did not do too much of dancing in my other movies. What I liked about Vijay Anand in Guide was being a professional dancer. When the song Gata Rahe Mera Dil, he never showed me I'm dancing. Not one single moment was shown that I'm, making, mudras or all those things. That was a lovely thing what Vijay did.
So we were talking again earlier before we came here, and I was asking you, what is your favorite moment in the whole complicated process of making films? Is it putting on the makeup, or is it waiting for the director to say action? What is your most exciting thing about making films?
The most exciting thing is when the director says action. Because I tried my best, I always want to totally lose myself in the character and try to play the character. And the most boring thing I found was to do makeup and do hair. I don't mind wearing good costumes, because I felt whenever I wore a costume, then suddenly I used to feel I'm changing and trying to be that character, how I walk. Because when you wear a kind of ghagra, a royal kind of ghagra, or a Lucknowi kurta, you start walking that way. Not consciously maybe, but unconsciously also. Consciously we have to do, but these costumes, when you're wearing jeans, you're casual. You sit like that, isn't it? But when you get into those kind of costumes, you suddenly, your body language changes. Which is like the most exciting part is when the director says action. Otherwise the other things are boring.
Tell us about your makeup mirror.
Oh. Usually you must have seen all actors on the sets before the take. They said final touch up. Something you have to correct your lipstick or perspiring or what you have to do your hair properly and all that. So they used to have big, huge mirrors, especially men like Chintu Kapoor, Rishi Kapoor. We all call him Chintu. The hugest mirror he had. And I had this size mirror, only this size. And Yash Chopra said, what do you see in this? I said, well, my makeup man is there, my hairstyle is there on the sets, the director is there. If something has gone too wrong, they will tell, can you do it properly, you see. I just see one eye and eyebrow and lipstick, and that's it. As I told you, to do makeup was more boring thing. So quickly I used to do that. Even my cinematographer like Fagli Mistri, V.K. Murthy said, we have never seen a leading lady who's got the smallest possible mirror.
And apparently Yash Chopra wanted to
He said, if I ever make a Hall of Fame, along with the photograph, I'm going to put this mirror on this. This meeting maybe should have this mirror.
And one last question before we include everybody else in the conversation. Very unusually for your time and your generation of actors, you've kept your own name.
Yes, yes, very much. Oh, there was a fight before I could sign the contract with Gurudat. Earlier I did 2-3 movies in South India where I started, where I am from there. And when I came to Bombay, before this contract has to be signed, I was not major yet, so my mother has to sign it for me. So they said, well, before that, we want to change your name. First of all, in my heart, I said, that is very rude to tell somebody, change your name. Why? I said, why? Because everybody does it. Like I said, who? They said, Dilip Kumar, Meena Kumari, Madhubala, lots of people, Nargis, and so on and so forth. I said, well, I was not 18 yet, but quite headstrong in a way. I said, they are they, it is me, I am me. I said, oh, okay, but it is too lengthy. It's not very exciting. It's not very juicy. I said, are you going to suggest some name? No, we have to think about it because you have to agree to change. I said, no, I'm not agreeing to change it. First of all, I have not run away from the house. My mother is sitting next to me to show. And in the end, after some time, there is an interview article, they say the real name is this and the screen name is this. I said, I don't want to change. Me, Waheeda Rehman is Waheeda Rehman. I said, how to call you Waheeda Rehman? I said, look, on the title you give Waheeda Rehman because the Rehman is my father's name. You will call me Waheeda, that's it. Oh, so they took one whole week. I took one whole week to say, no, I'm not changing. If you like it, take it, forget it about it. I said, when I started Telugu Tamil movies, over there, it was a very different name for them. Muslim name, Waheeda Rehman. But not once they said, can you change the name? I said, why are you people are making? Oh, that was a small territory, but this is Hindi, the all India territory. I said, I don't care. I'm not changing my name. That's it.
And what a name. I mean, now it conjures up so many fantastic things. Well, questions, comments, gushing fan moments, all of the above. The lady in the black, put up her hand first.
Yes,
Ms. Waheeda Rehman. I didn't know you were South Indian because the name,
Yes.
But the two Indian actresses that I really admire, Shriti Plus and yourself, and I've watched all your movies ever since I was in kindergarten.
Oh.
But the one movie I've seen over and
Why
over
are you
again.
making me feel so old?
Madam, I am very old. Madam, I'm a grandmother myself. So
Yeah.
But we're young at heart.
Yeah.
We go back and watch those movies again and again and the songs. But the one film that I saw again and again because I really felt it, the artistic struggle and relationship between the protagonist and the woman is Pyasa. And that's, I still remember the Gurudat at the door, that kind of nice figure.
You keep it short, please.
So my question is, what was the intensity like when you shot Pyasa between you and Gurudat?
In Pyasa, I was a newcomer because CID and Pyasa was being shot simultaneously. I'm an absolute newcomer and I didn't know anything. Whatever I was told, I said I have to, as an actress, of course there was no acting schools those days because my dancing helped me a lot to, feel those emotions. And just I felt it and Gurudat used to tell, okay, this is the way it is, the character is feeling. So I can't say I was experienced, I knew, knowingly I did. No, it just happened and...
Sorry, you're already holding the mic. Can you say your name, please, and keep it short?
I'm Renuka. I just wanted to ask you, how long did your characters live with you after the movie was over? Like when I saw Khamoshi, you lived with me for quite some time.
Yeah. Yeah. You see, I try my best to, when I'm shooting, I'm the character. The ones they say pack up, We go home, I try to switch off and forget about it. But sometimes it does happen, you start feeling unknowingly, you're going, I can't say depression, but kind of feeling low and heavy. In Khamoshi it happened. Because I have to think a lot to look very convincing, because was in love with the first patient. The second time she is not in love, the patient is in love with her, and her doctor says, no, you are a nurse, you cannot get involved emotionally. So that was, I have to think to bring it, realistically. So that was a little heavy.
Waheeda ji, I think in Chaudhary Ka Chand, that particular song which has remained and your performance, I think arguably no Indian heroine has looked more beautiful than you did in that particular song.
Thank you.
And it was also, for the first time perhaps we saw a song sequence in color. It was probably new at that time, a color picturization. Now you began with black and white and
Yes.
you moved to color. Were you easy with the transition, and what is your personal preference of a medium?
Those days they just started making color movies. And this was being made in black and white, Chodme Ka Chand. When it became a super hit, then Gurdaji thought that if I reshoot that particular song, the title song which has become so popular, maybe it will add an attraction and people will go again to see, as a commercial point of view. So in the beginning it was terrible to do color because they used to have very heavy bright lights. It used to burn your skin. So constantly we used to put the shamo leather in the ice bucket and put it on our face, and my eyes used to get red and all. I must tell you about, nobody knows about it, it's a very interesting thing about this song. When it was shot in color, it has to be recensored to show to the censor board. So funnily enough, one of the censor board members said, Mr. Gurudat, that close-up of Waheeda, you have to cut it. He says, close-up of Waheeda, why? Because her eyes are very red. So he said, no, it gives the feeling of, very sensual. You will not believe that it is true. After he came back, he narrated us this. I said, yes, so, but it is very sensual. She said, in that close-up, she's alone. She's not with the man or the husband, and he's a husband and wife they are playing. Okay, no vulgar movement, no nothing. They're not even embracing it, just her single close-up. People will know somehow if you delete it, it will be very nice. He said, look, I'll try, it is not possible because poor thing, her eyes keep becoming so red because they're bright lights. So she keep putting her eyes on that. So this is very funny. So I always tell, if today the same members would have been today, while watching what they have done, they will faint, I'm sure. Or some of them might have a heart attack.
So many songs that we remember you in. Which is your favorite?
Aaj bhi jeene ki tamanna hai.
There you go. Mine too, mine. Another question or a comment? The gentleman there.
I've got two short questions.
No, give him a microphone, please.
Me?
A microphone. And can you say your name as well, please?
Behith.
I'm Karma Tenzin. I'm an ex-cop. I've got two short questions. One, who would you rate your favorite co-star? Co-star. And second one is, second question is, now I forgot. And then also your own favorite movie where you have played, which is close to your heart.
My favorite movie is Guide, and my co-actors, Dilip Saab was very good, and Sunil Gar, Amitabh, all of them were kind of good. Yeah.
No, come on. You have to pick one. Or at least two.
I told Dilip Kumar number one, and then Amitabh.
Other questions? Yeah,
I'm Chitra from Tamil Nadu, from South India.
எப்படி இருக்கீங்க நல்லா இருக்கீங்களா
நல்லா இருக்கேன் ma'am. So I'm curious to know about your experience in the southern film industry, especially Tamil.
Well, I did not do too many, just song sequences were there. One Telugu movie song, my first was song, and that was Rojlu Marai, and then a Telugu movie as a leading lady, along with Mr. N.T. Ramarao and Anjali Devi. You see, they used to make movies in 3 to 4 months. Very punctual and very business-like, no, wasting time and all that. They're too professional they were. Even now I think they are. But in Hindi in my time they used to take it laid back, relax and do it. But now because it's the expenses, everything is in crores and crores, so they have become more and more professional and very punctual.
In the front, Mohini.
My name is Mohini. Waheeda, I have to say my favorite movie is Kaagaz Ki Phool, which hasn't been mentioned yet. But I actually want to ask you about, since we're talking about women in cinema today, and we were talking about that binary between the vamp and the good woman. So do you feel like it has progressed? Because I still see those same stereotypes sort of functioning in the movies today.
You mean in recent movies also? Yeah. You see, the problem is with the movie industry, because especially in India, it's a very short-lived life, especially for the girls. You see, after a certain age, all the directors, all the actors want to work with new girls, for them to feel younger, to work with the younger. Very true, very true. And they say, oh, she's 30, she's touched 30, yeah, she should be given Bhabhi ka role, Ma ka role, kind of things. So, so they want to do everything in the short period. And lately, their life has become more insecure. Why? Because in our time, there was no beauty contest. Now, every year there is. So they say, oh, Miss India or Miss Universe, she's going to enter movies. So the girls they might not say it, but it is true. Because 2 flops, they said, nahi ladki ko le lo. Take a new girl. She'll be cheaper also, you see. Because you become a big star, naturally you're getting more money. So whatever they get, they don't want, and also they have to finish. In Hollywood, you do 1 movie, you can wait for 2 years and then do 1 more. Like Meryl Streep or, all these of an age group, they still get roles, they can still play. Like Bridges on the Madison County, here they will say, oh, married woman with 3 grown-up children, how can she have an affair? And we are also used to seeing those movies and characters. We also have got double standards. For our Indians, nahi, ye nahi theek hai. You see, it's not right. You see how? Because when I was doing Guide, there was such a big show in the industry telling me, how can you do this movie? Because in the first frame, never happened on Indian cinema. A leading lady is already a married woman. And then she goes and lives with Raju, not married, mind you, not married, and living with him. Impossible. So this will be your last movie. You see, that has changed now to a certain extent. But the girls have to quickly do, otherwise they miss this chance.
Madam Waheeda, my name is Siri, and I'd just like to ask, well, Indian cinema before, I think it was pretty provocative, but at the same time, it still was very classy. And now I think Indian cinema has changed quite a bit. I'd like your take on how you see, how sex sells, basically, they say in movies these days, and how women are wearing shorter clothes, and I don't think it's as classy as before. So what is your take on cinema today and the role that women play? Thank you.
Well, when I say, many people in the younger generation think it's kind of a sour grapes. Okay, she's not there anymore, so she thinks her movies were the good, her time, not only mine, but on the whole. And these present movies, she's not liking because she can't do those roles, and she crossed that age. But that, as you said rightly, the depth is gone. Depth is gone. But it is not only in the movies. to be fair, the whole thing in life has changed. Everything has become very fast, huh? And values have changed. There is so much of a rat race. Everybody wants to be number one in any field. You see? So that is gone. That, sitting quietly and thinking peacefully, to those days have gone. And one thing definitely I can say, that is our music has gone to dogs. Sorry to say. And obviously there is no situation for a lyricist to write. Okay, yet all the time there were. And another thing, in our times, I'm sure the audience will, when there is a love scene happening, okay, oh come on, go and hold her hand, please. But here in a second meeting, they're in the bed. So what is there for them to wait and watch, ye Gana Gado, or something like that? It happened, everything.
Last question in the front.
Hi, I'm Deepthi. It's awesome to see you here. My question kind of connects to what you're saying right now, but more so, what is the role of women in this change that we're seeing in Indian cinema, the way women are being portrayed, specifically the role of women, not men? What do you think?
Well, it's changing, no doubt it is changing for good, but there have to be a little change, better, more graceful, more strong. And as Arshia said, there is no vamp is needed, there is no villain needed, because the hero and the heroine both are doing all the kind of roles, or mudras and everything, and cabaret dancers are there, and the leading lady does the cabaret and things like that. So we have got a lot to give to the society through our movies. We still can do and do better.
Okay, I thought we were done, but apparently we have 5 minutes, so more questions, please. And your name?
My name is Sonia. Waheeda ji, are there any women that you can recall that you looked up to, or at the moment you can say look up to, from any time, any age, any sphere, any, I wouldn't use the word role model, but anyone you admired as a...
In movies?
Or outside?
Well, in movies, I like Nutan very much, Tanuja, Nargis, and Meena Kumari was a great actress, but I thought she used to stick to one kind of character, you see, that sacrificing wife, sister. Haji? Tragedy queen, okay, tragedy queen. But Nutan, Tanuja, apni, kya maine bataya? Nargis, and then lately Madhuri Dixit, Sri Devi, and Kajol, Tapu. They are very good. And I can't say they are my role model. My outside is there was a Dr. Mary Varghese. She, it has nothing to do with movies. She met an accident and she was bedridden on a wheelchair, and she had some 26 surgeries to be done. But the best part, she never left her spirit. She became a doctor, she went to America, and she used to operate on this leprosy. She became a doctor for lepers. And sometimes when I used to feel, say, what a courage, what a great woman she is, And one is Sonal Manson, dancer. She also met an accident, and she said, no, I'm a dancer, I have to start dancing back again. No, I'm not going to give up. So I like people like that. Jab tak zinda hai, jiyo.
Like the 18-year-old girl who refused to change her name.
Yeah.
Waheeda Rehman, thank you for the memories, thank you for being here. It was a pleasure.